Thank you, Mr. Williams, and a pleasant good afternoon to all listening this broadcast by whatever means. New regulations have been published, and these will expire on September 26. These regulations further prepares us for the first phase reopening of the borders. The nightly curfew has been removed. However, all the COVID-19 protocols remain in place. The wearing of masks continues to be one of the more effective means to combat the spread of the virus. However, some modifications to this requirement has been made in these new regulations. Minor modifications, I will add. Regulation 8.2 speaks to a person shall not be required to wear a mask, A, if he is under the age of 6 years old. Previously, it was 3 years. That has now moved to 6 years. If he's between the ages of 6 and 11 years old, and there is lack of adult supervision for providing for the putting on or taking off of the mask. So persons who are between the ages of 6 and 11 years old, if there's a lack of supervision for the putting and taking off of the mask, then there's no requirement to wear a mask. If he or she suffers with a disability, cognitive impairment, dementia, asthma, chronic obstructive lung disease, or other similar health condition, or if he's within a private space, and this includes a private vehicle. So these are the conditions under which a person would not be required to wear a mask. If you are under the age of 6 years, if you are between the age of 6 and 11 and do not have adult supervision, if you have some health condition that makes it difficult for you to wear a mask, or if you're in a private space, which includes your private vehicle. The new regulation also eases restrictions on the opening of schools. All public educational places of institution may reopen, and we have heard the announcement of the opening of school on September 7th. However, all private educational places of instruction shall apply to the Ministry of Education for approval of reopening in the form set out in the second schedule. In addition to the form of application in the second schedule of the emergency regulations, the protocols to be observed for these private schools are also detailed in that particular schedule. And that schedule speaks to physical distancing with respect to inside and outside classrooms, distance markers for the dropping off or picking up of children, and the signing in and out of a register, among other requirements. It also speaks to the wearing of masks by parents and staff while on the compound, and the arrival and departure screening protocols. The schedule further speaks to hygiene and sanitization protocols, food preparation protocol, as well as health and safety protocols. In the interest of time, I will not go through in full details with all the details of all these protocols, but I would encourage you to have a read of the second schedule of the COVID-19 Emergency Powers Regulation. This is available on the COVID-19 website or the SKNIS website. I would encourage persons to go there and look for it. Clubs or management teams, another restriction that has been eased in these regulations is the restriction on the attending sporting events. The restrictions on attending sporting events. A person may attend sports training or other practice sessions for amateur or recreational sporting events. However, the basic COVID-19 protocols still apply. Wearing of face masks, social and physical distancing, hand hygiene, and other sanitization behavior are still basic requirements at sporting events. Clubs or management teams must apply to the Ministry of Sports for permission to host these events, And it is important to note that only 50% of the capacity of the stadium will be permitted, and physical distance of 6 feet must be observed between persons in the stands or the stadium. Notwithstanding the lifting of the curfew, public entertainment and other social activities still require permission from the Commissioner of Police prior to hosting these events, and the end time for the events would still be one of the conditions. So a lack of curfew doesn't mean that there is no end time to public entertainment. That would be a condition, and that would be listed in that would be given in your permission letter. We continue to urge residents not to become complacent and ignore the recommended protocols. As the borders are open, our risk will increase, and the likelihood of the reintroduction of the virus in the country becomes greater. If we are wearing our masks, social and physical distancing, and practicing good sanitization behavior, our chances of becoming reinfected or infected will be significantly reduced. So I urge us all to cooperate with the authorities and protect your own health by following all the protocols that are recommended. Thank you.